Hello and welcome to Smitty's. I am a wood cutting fanatic who loves to run a chainsaw. I run alcohol chainsaws, ported chainsaws, I race chainsaws, and I even run the occasional vintage. Now remember, I cannot do this without you. You're everything to the channel, so please remember, subscribe, give that thumbs up, leave that comment. Today, we are going to have a lot of fun. How you doing? Hey, it's been a couple of months since I've given you kind of any sort of video from the shop. And things have been happening, just not a whole lot. So I thought to myself, you guys might be interested in some things I got happening here. But I think you guys might be interested in this one. There's some sweet stuff on this one. Alrighty? So first up here is I picked up another lathe. This is a local lathe. It was at the local railroad shops. And it broke probably not long after it was new, and it just basically sat there ever since. There's not a lot of wear on it, but what happened is the gear inside had broke, created all sorts of issues. You couldn't get it to change gears or anything. So I managed to acquire it just to see if I can get it fixing. I got it for almost $0. I mean, it was so cheap. But I got her sitting here now, and I'm working on getting her up and running. And I did get it somewhat working. I got it stuck in low gear right now. It was stuck in the highest gear. Now I got it sitting in the lowest gear. So if I leave it in the lowest gear, I can use it. That's kind of, you know what I mean? That's kind of the speed I'd probably run it in. And what I mean by the lowest gear, or what I mean here is in high gear, I found that one revolution here was 2 full revolutions here at the chuck. And the way I have it now, it takes 4 revolutions here to get 1 revolution at the chuck. So that's where I have it now, and you can see she's moving now. I don't have any of this bolted in, so she's a little sloppy, but yeah, she's actually turning now. So one of the things I've been playing with off and on, not putting a whole lot of effort into it, but we'll get her going. I still have my little lathe, so between the two, I should be able to do some pretty cool stuff. This one has the 3-jaw chuck, and this lathe has a 4-jaw chuck. But it's not self-centering, so you got to play with it to get it centered up and everything. But yeah, 4-jaw chuck. Now I've got all my Sawfest saws lined up here across the top, except this one. This is not one, but all the rest of them are lined up here. And we're going to run this saw here in today's video. We're going to sharpen that chain up, put a race, one of my kind of faster, racier grinds. I've never showed you those techniques on any of the videos, but we're going to see how she performs on that saw today. It's an 036. That's what I'm running in my 65cc class, and I think she's a pretty sporty saw. In fact, I did a short video of this already showing it cutting with this chain, and it ran 13,000 RPM in the cut with that chain. So I'm going to go more aggressive, but it's going to be one of the most aggressive grinds that I've ever put onto a saw. And I think that might be what I'm going to do with all of my saws, is just go extremely aggressive with it, because right now they're kind of good firewood grinds. I might go a little more aggressive. Now the cool thing here is, see, a gentleman had mentioned to me a long time ago, he said, I thought you were going to race with vintage saws, and that's what this is kind of about here. My P70, I built it to race, but they're not running that class this year. So she's basically going to have to sit here and wait. Now, I did start acquiring some saws here to start putting together a hot 50cc vintage saw. And if any of you guys know what we're looking at here, we got some pretty sweet ones here. So basically, we got a Partner 5000, another Partner 5000, and this is a Partner 5000 Plus. This one runs. This one has less compression than this one. This one don't have a rope on it, but I looked at the piston and cylinder, and it's a viable top end. So this one I'm probably going to leave as is for now. Probably not going to do much. We'll do some videos on it, probably in stock form, and eventually build this saw in this form. These here, I'm hoping to get one of them running and use the other as a parts build for a hot 50cc class saw, because I need the top end. I'm planning on putting the top end on a Husqvarna 50. If you guys are familiar with that setup, it's been well known that the Partner 5000 top end on the Husqvarna 50 type saws really does perform quite well. It was a racing platform for many years. So that's kind of the direction we're headed here. This one runs though. Here, I'll do a video real quick. We'll start this guy up so you can see it run. So yeah, there. I mean, she's a good running saw. It shows no signs of any issues whatsoever. So I want to run it for a little while, kind of get a feel for it before I start building it, you know what I mean? Now, you might also notice the shop here, Muffler brought us up some rolled roofing because of the fire at the house and everything that's going on. I'm probably not going to have time to get these doors built. So at least we got something here to keep the wind out of us if we're in the shop. The problem is it made it much darker in there, so the lighting sucks in there right now. But you know, it is what it is. But what do you say we go ahead, fire up this ported 036. I'll sharpen the chain up and give you guys, then you guys can see how she cuts in some wood. What do you say? Alrighty, so what do you say we see what this 036 can do? I just touched up the chain, kind of changed the angles a bit, made it more of a racy type of grind, and we're gonna see what she'll do. She's probably gonna pull pretty hard on the saw, so I'm curious to see if it, you know, still cuts fast. Alrighty, so here we go. Alrighty, so it really likes that chain setup like that. It did affect the RPM some, but not a whole lot. So if I let it just self-feed 100%, it would hover right around 13,000 RPM. As soon as I started applying pressure, it would drop. And it just depends on how much pressure I applied. It goes between 12.4 to 12.8, I'd say, somewhere in that range, just depending on how much pressure I'd apply. And you know, I could push even harder and make it drop even more. But I'm pretty happy with the way it's running. The chain feels great. It's very smooth. And I used it on some of the poplar, and I even made 2 cuts on the yoke. So yeah, it's cutting smooth regardless of what type of wood I'm in. And I'm pretty happy with this grind. I think this is going to be pretty much my permanent type of grind right here, what you're looking at. There's just something about it I really like, but it's no good for a long bar. I'll be honest with you. A long bar, big piece of wood, it's no good for that. But if you keep like a 20-inch bar and you're cutting like 15 inches of wood or stuff like that, this is a grind to go with right here. There's zero effort whatsoever to get, to get the cut done. Now, if you're curious about the angles, we haven't got this far in the advanced chainsaw sharpening techniques, but if you looked at the most aggressive grind on there, this is even more aggressive. So it's probably going to be a little while until we get to this stage on that sharpening series. But yes, this is probably 2 steps beyond the most aggressive grind that you're seeing on that video. So just to give you an idea of how much torque this saw has to actually be able to pull this chain, I think it's pretty phenomenal. So hey, I hope those guys at Sawfest kind of look at this saw and think, yeah, that's not going to be a challenge. Because I think it's going to be a challenge for them. So hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.